All right, so now it's the card portion of our game night fun. And so tonight's card portion is with the beautiful balloons. And I'm going to grab one of the kits to show. And in the kit, you got this nice little vinyl envelope that you can reuse for projects. And as you're working on things, slide it in the envelope. But everybody got one of the Bright and Beautiful Memories and More card packs is what it's called. And so you got a smaller card pack and you got a bigger card pack. And I don't know if anybody's gotten into theirs or not, but I was going to show you. That these are the larger ones, and they are double-sided. So like they have images, and you get, I think, 2 of each card. So you'll be able to make 2 of these if you want. I did match up the card base with the card that I'm making. And one of them does not require a card base, but I put the extra ones for your kit behind so you could make 2 extra cards using the rest of the supplies. And then you can make other cards also. So I'll kind of give you some, show you some of that. So these are the larger pieces, and you can do them for like journaling, and because it's got, you know, places to write on there. You could cut this part off and just have this be a full card, but they're double-sided. And there's all kinds of like different things that are in here, polka dots and different things. So those could make really nice cards alone with a little bit of DSP. Then you have the mini ones, which is half the size of that, and it's like, oh, happy day, and there's like stuff on the back, and cheers to you. So there's just all kinds of things, and they've got sayings. So if you didn't have like the stamp set, you could still make cards with words by using the card pack. So you might want to look into some more of these Memories and More card packs, because you can make all kinds of things out of them. So there's that. But then also in this pack you get sheets of stickers, and you get 2 of this one and 2 of this one, and you can use these stickers on the inside of the cards, on the outside of the card, whatever. You can use them in like your planner books, or you know, that kind of thing. So there's quite a bit in one of these packs of the Memories and More. So that will be in your kit that you got. And then everybody should have a bolt of twine. There were multiple colors, and so everybody got 1 bolt. So not everybody's are the same color, but it doesn't matter because it matches the colors in the kit. Then you also got a partial pack of all the Designer Series paper. So you've got, I believe it was a sheet of each one of the patterns. And so these are front and back. So a lot of the patterns that are in the paper are in the cards, or on the backs of the cards, the fronts of the cards also. And so there's multiples of these, like sheets. So you'll get that. And then also you got with it, some people got 3 of the multicolored and 2 of the gradient pink ones. Some people got 3 of the gradient pink ones and 2 of the multicolored. But you should have got 5 of those. And then everybody should have got 5 envelopes that match both of those. So that's what was in your kit. So you had card bases, card envelopes, you have DSP, your twine, and then you had your card pack, plus then the extra pieces to make all the cards. So this is, and this snaps shut. I do believe it's like water resistant, waterproof. I'm certain if it was like this, water could go up underneath the flap. But for the most part, if you have it like in a bag like this, what's in here for your contents should not get wet. So there's that. And so I need my paper trimmer for some of my cards. So let's see. I'll set it over here to the side and hopefully not knock anything off. I'm going to do some embossing tonight, and I will show you like the best way to go about that. The stamp set that you could have added on was called Beautiful Balloons, and it's got, you know, happy birthday, you did it, so thrilled for you, yay you, I think it's time for a celebration. Let's get our celebration on, and then these other images. And the thing is that it does not have to be birthday. It could be for graduation. It could be a congratulations for, you know, whatever it is that you have going on for that moment. And so what I did was, these are some pieces of the DSP. I pulled them out of my pack, and I took the emboss. These are the die cuts. And this flat balloon here, it will cut it out. And then this one here will cut it out. It does not emboss or anything. It just cuts them out. These will do the same thing. And why these are solid and these aren't, I have no idea. But I used these two dies to do my die cutting, and what I did was I just cut numerous of these out, and I have all these extra balloons down here in this. This is one of our clear envelopes, and I have some of the pieces. I've got all the little balloons that I've already pre-cut because I didn't know what ones I wanted to use, and I just slipped them down in here so the next time I want to make cards like this, I can just pull this out and see what bits and pieces that I already have, and then go from there. And if I need any more, I can cut them. But I did this to save myself time later. And so these are the two dies that I used. You could use others, but I was trying to make this one a quick and simple class. And I'll probably in the future also give more ideas on ways to use the dies and the stamps and mix in the pieces that you're getting in your card kit. So I'm going to close this up and put these pieces in here. So that is the stamp set and die. Now you don't have to have that. Like I said, you can make cards with just the Memories and More card pieces and the card bases and envelopes. But our first card tonight, I have a little divider thing here and got all of my bits and pieces in there. I have my lights turned off here so that it won't roll the screen. My LED lights, they kind of mess with it a little bit. So I'm going to bring in my bits and pieces here and show you what you'll get in yours. So this is just one of our other envelopes because this one here, I'm not using the card base from the Memories and More. This one here, I cut out all the pieces for. And so this is a piece of the thick basic white. I don't even know my colors. Didn't know my numbers earlier. Now I don't know my colors. And it is 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. Okay, so this is the thick. And I'm going to grab my bone folder and crease that well. Okay, so there's that. And then I have a piece of, it's lemon lime twist here. And this lemon lime twist is 4 1/8 this way by 5 3/8 that way. And then I'm going to add this to my card base. And my trick is you put glue on the corner. Uh-oh, I think it's clogged. There. I know there's glue in it. There we go. So put glue coming from the corners. That's just a little tip and trick. And zigzag it down. And then I'm going to add this to my card base. And just center it. It's just an ever so slightly smaller, like a 1/16 of an inch border is what you're going to have all the way around. So it's an 1/8 inch smaller than my base. Is all that it is. Okay. Now this piece here, this is where we're going to do some of our stamping. And this piece is basic white. And it is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then in your kit, you're going to have, this is Daffodil Delight, Blueberry Bushel, and Real Red. And they're about 2 inches wide and probably 4 1/4 inches long, 4 1/4 inches long. I went with primary colors. It can be masculine, feminine, whichever. To do your die cutting and to speed things up, I already die cut from a piece of the Daffodil Delight, a balloon from the Real Red, and from the Blueberry Bushel. So you could, if you don't have the die set, and some of you did order it, and they're ordered and they'll be in first part of the week. But if you did not order it, you can either cut circles and put a little piece at the bottom, or you can cut ovals and just put a little piece at the bottom to make it look like a balloon. So I'm going to set these inside my envelope because we don't need them. I already did this. And like I said, it was this balloon. And I found it easier to cut it ahead of time. And it just fits in there. Mine's also, I don't know if you could see, it's a tad bit textured. And I kind of like it because of my die cutting plate is so cut that it textured my balloons. And I can really feel it. And so I'll put that die cut up there, put that one there. And set these kind of off to the side. Bring in this scrap piece of paper. And we'll get started with our stamping. The ink colors that I'm using, of course, is the Blueberry Bushel, the Daffodil Delight, Real Red, and the Lemon Lime Twist. So all the colors of the cardstock is what we're using. And then I will be using Versamark ink, and I will be using white embossing powder. And then I need to plug my the Stampin' Up embossing machine in. So that'll be ready when I need it. And the images that we're going to use are this one. So that's what this one is. It kind of does not really look like a balloon. It just kind of looks like a glob there. And we're going to bring in Happy Birthday. I think it's time for a celebration. and then this little confetti. So it's time for celebration. This little confetti, happy birthday, and then this balloon here, or this image here for our card. And oh, and we also need tuxedo black memento ink. So the first thing I'm going to do is to do my greeting at the bottom. I'll take my memento and ink up my stamp. This is the one that is, I think it's time to celebrate. So I just want to make certain I get it well inked. And I want to come down here to the bottom and try to line it up the best that I can. Stamp down, and I'm going to hold it for a moment so that the black ink can soak into the cardstock. All right, I'm going to grab a baby wipe so that I can clear things away. Okay, so there's that. I'm giving that a chance to dry. And then the next thing that I want to do is I want to put my confetti all around to have as a background for my balloons. So I'm getting the Daffodil Delight. I feel like it's probably the lightest of colors. So this is just a little confetti. It's not a very big stamp at all. And I'm going to just randomly, I want to check it first. So I just randomly put them around. I'm going to put one up here in that corner. I don't really have to clean it probably before the lemon lime, but I'm going to. So I'm going to set this up here just in case I need it again. And next I'm going to do lemon lime. And I'm going to just go near what I've already done. And some of it I'm going to go to the left, some of it I'm going to go to the right, some above, some below. So I'm not really, you know, making it a pattern, but I am putting it fairly close. Now I am going to clean between the green and the red. So I'm going to set my green up there. So I'm bringing my real red. So I'm just, like I said, we're just building a background, and I'm not getting real close this time. So kind of like that. And then I'll bring in the blueberry bushel. I'm going to clean this just in case I want to make purple. And then I'll do the blueberry bushel. I'm just filling in different places. Okay, so I see I've got spacing right here that kind of needs filled in a bit. So this time, because I don't want to put too much dark on this, but I'm going to wipe this off, make certain I clean it well. And then I'm going to go back with my lightest color and just fill in a couple places. So then that way it's not overpowering. Now that we've gotten this far, I think I'll go ahead, I'll set this off for a moment, but we'll come back to that. And we're going to stamp these images onto for tone on tone so that you can see the stars and the confetti on the balloon. Okay, so I'll close up my Daffodil Delight. Okay, now I'm going to I'll go ahead and wipe it down just in case. I'll go to my red one, stamp that. And that one there, you can see the confetti on it. Clean again. And then this last one, we're going to do a little extra with it, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in the blueberry bushel to give it its confetti. Okay. And then we'll get back to this. So I'm going to set these off to dry. Shouldn't take real long to dry, but I did learn that if I stamped this first, then die cut it, the blueberry bushel ink that I put on it will adhere to the inside, and you'll have to clean it, because then whenever I did my Daffodil Delight balloon, I had blueberry bushels smeared on my Daffodil Delight. That's why it's best to stamp them after you cut them. Just a little extra there. Okay, so I'm going to put my paper down here. And then I have a blueberry bushel Stampin' Right marker. And as you know, I like to do splatters. And so you just put the brush tip in and you just easy and just put splatters. And so see the little speckles all over it? It's just a splattering, splattering. So that one I've finished, and I'm going to bring in my lemon lime twist, and the same with this. I'll take the brush in. So it doesn't just have confetti, it looks like confetti falling with it. So there's that. Now that needs to dry also. So I can close up my real red. Close up my blueberry bushel. Lemon lime twist. Okay, so now then I want to bring in my tweezers here, and before I ever do anything else to this, I want to heat it, because I want to make certain that the ink on it is dry. Now I'm going to flip it over and press. It should be dry because that's nice and warm. Yep, nothing came off. And the reason why is because I'm getting ready to emboss the happy birthday on this balloon. So I'm going to take my, and I don't want the blue ink on my embossing buddy here. So I'm going to take my embossing buddy, just kind of tap it on there, because I want that ink to, white ink's on there, I don't want to take my embossing powder. And trust me, it will. Found out the hard way. So I'm just going to ink up the happy birthday. And you can have it go at an angle. You can try to make it as straight as you can. Put it down. So this is a clear ink. It's a sticky ink. And you can just barely see it on there, but it's there. I'm going to take my white embossing powder. And I'm just going to stick it down in the powder. Cover it up, and hopefully it'll only stick to the happy birthday and my tweezers. Okay, so I'm going to grab up here at the top, grab at the top, get off as much as I can. Cover the embossing powder. And move it away and cover my ink pad. And bring in my heat tool. Give it a moment to heat up and then emboss. And you should see it change from dull to bright. And you can use any happy birthday just as long as it's small enough to fit. And once I see it as shiny as like normal would, I come from the back and get it to raise up. But you don't want to leave it in one place and burn it. You can burn the embossing powder. So this will need, you can see how shiny. Hopefully. It doesn't look dull. It's pretty shiny there. So there's that. All right. Now then, I need my twine. So I'm just going to unroll some of it. And instead of cutting it and then trying to tie it in a knot, I'm just going to take this tail end and I'm going to just poke it through and put my knot a little bit up on my twine. So here's the end, here's the knot. Then I'm going to go up a little bit more and feed my end through. Tie a second knot and then do it again and just feed it through. So I've got 3 different knots, and what I want to do then is take my pair of scissors and cut fairly close to that knot. I left just a very small amount of this frayed part out. Now I'm going to go back down here to this other knot and I'm going to cut just above that knot. So that left me with the knot and then a tail end piece. So there's no knot down there. And then I'm going to cut this one just above that knot again. And so there's a knot on that end, and it's just a tail end piece on that end. And then I've got this piece with the knot and the tail end. That way you're not trying to tie it with just a small piece. If you tie it while it's on the bolt and then cut it away after you've knotted all 3, it makes it so much easier to handle. So that's tip number 3, I think. All right, so now then we want to start layering our balloons on here. So I want my yellow balloon, my Daffodil Delight. I'm going to have it kind of going off that page, and I'm going to show you why here in just a moment. So I'm going to kind of scoot it over a little bit, and then I'm going to bring in my liquid glue, and I'm not going to put glue clear to the top. Oops. Then, like I said, I'm just going to have it go off the page just a little bit. Glue where it wasn't supposed to be. If I don't have sticky fingers or inky fingers, it's not crafting. I'm just going to remove the excess around the balloon. Okay. So now then, because it sticks up past it, I'm going to flip this over and take my scissors along the edge here and just trim that away. So like that. Throw that piece of trash away. And then now I'm going to bring in my happy birthday. He'll go about there maybe. Maybe about like that. And they don't have to go straight up and down. So I'm going to take my one that has the sentiment on it. I'm going to put it down first. Kind of like that. Then we'll take the next one. And I'm going to bring it down. And this one's kind of angled just a little bit. Now I'm going to hold it for a moment so the glue can adhere well. Flip this over. Add glue to my corners. Attach to my card front. All right, now grab my glue dots. And I have an old piercing tool that we used to carry. You can use your take your pick tool and different things. And I'm going to take the glue dot. I don't know if you can see the glue dot on there. It's like there. If I hold it at an angle. Take the glue dot. I'm going to roll it up in a circle. So instead of being just a big round glue dot, I now have it as a glob on the end of my tool. And I'm going to sit that on about where the balloon knot would be for the balloon. Just kind of, tore my paper off there. Well, took my paper with it. If you can cut one of the glue dots in half, that's fine too. I had trouble with that, so there. I did it again. It tore the paper. Oh, I remember why. Because this longer piece, I needed to put my knot right on that glue dot. Then pull the tool out so that the knot is getting pushed in place. That way it won't tear the paper. So you'll get to see me do it 2 more times. All right, so I'm gonna roll this up into a knot, just like a little glue ball. Take my next one that's a little bit longer, put on this blue one, put my knot over the glue dot, pull my tool out, press it into place, grab this next glue dot, put it on this balloon, take this knot, put it over there, and pull that out. So then now you have your balloon strings, but I don't want them just flopping around like that. So I'm going to take these over here to the side, and I'm just going to kind of like fold this glue dot, just kind of fold it in half and not roll it up so close to a ball, so it's kind of a little bit of a glue dot. Just fold it up, and I'm going to come over here where they're both at together, put it under it, and then put both strings down on it at the same time so that they're glued down. So there's a little curve in there in the strings, and this one here, it naturally is curling, and so I'm going to kind of want to roll this one up in a ball like I did for the other, up near the base of the balloon. And then just somewhere down around here, I'm going to put the string on there, work my tool out, and there we go. And if it's still a little bit sticky there, you can take your embossing buddy and put over those spots so it takes down so any of the stickiness, so that it won't stick to your envelope whenever you mail it. And so I'm going to trim this off because it is hanging over a bit. But I think I'm going to leave those because it won't matter. They don't stick out that much, but this one kind of stuck out. So that is our card number 1. And that is the hardest card in this whole class. And so just looks like a bunch of balloons, and that this one got away. So there is our card number 1. And this one here is the one that I had done previously. So it's just however your strings, how they land. That's how I glue them down. So that was card number 1. Now then, we're going to go on to card number 2. And with card number 2, this is where I'm going to need to bring in my paper cutter, and I'm going to show you how to cut your pieces to make the card. So on this one here, there's no stamping, no die cutting, just a couple little cuts, and you've got your card made. So this is our card base, and it's the gradient bubble bath color, and we're going to make it a landscape card. So you just fold it in half and close it. And then we have a piece of lemon lime twist, and this is, let's see, 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, I believe. And so that'll be our layer. Now this piece here is a piece of the DSP out of, like, you'll have a sheet of this also. And this piece of DSP is 1 inch by 6 inches. But our card base is, I think, 6.5 inches wide. So let's look. Nope, 6 1/4 inches wide. So this piece will not reach clear across my card, but I'm going to make it work. So what I'm going to do is just kind of randomly, and it doesn't have to be exact whatsoever, is you're just going to cut in the middle. And if you cut too much this way, it'll still work. So I just like cut right in the middle. And see, I purposely went off a little bit. So this one's shorter than that one. But you want to keep them in the order that you just cut them. And we're going to glue them on our card front before we do anything else. So I'm going to take, add glue. So on this end I did my corners. On this end it doesn't matter. And if you use your grid paper, it might help to line that up. So you're going to line this edge up with your card base. Okay, so I came up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then put it down. So I want to do the same thing on this other end. Remember, you need it on the corners on the right side on this one. It doesn't matter on this end because we're going to cover that up. So I need to come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoops. I must have, oh, it's not in there straight, that's why. And then just kind of line it up. And if you get off a little bit, you'll be all right. So see, now I have this gap, but we're going to cover it so it won't matter. Do that. Now this piece is our card front, but it is bigger than my lemon lime. So I'm going to show you how to cut this down. So I'll bring in my paper trimmer. And for the part with all the balloons on it, you want to put it in the paper trimmer. And over here on this edge, this first, the largest line, or this first line here, that's a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to put this clear up to the top, get it in there straight, make certain I'm on that 1/4 inch all the way, and I'm cutting a 1/4 inch off the bottom. That's the first thing that you want to do. So it just barely comes below the bottom of that green balloon. So at the bottom of that green balloon, you just barely cut that off. And this is, you can keep this because there's imagery on the other side. But you want to trim that off. So I'm going to set this over here. And then I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm only going to cut a 1/4 inch off the top. So I'm going to line it up on that 1/4 inch line. Make certain it's straight across the top. Then trim. And you barely cut the top of the bubble bath balloon. And then you just miss the others, okay? So then you can save that piece. Now then, this is still too long. It'll still be too long for this. So we need to cut this down a 1/2 inch. And it's a 1/2 inch off the right hand side. So I'm going to put this in. So the second mark is the 1/2 inch. And I'm going to sit that in there. Make certain it's across the top. So basically we're cutting this piece down to 5.5 inches. And then that's what you're left with. And you still, so it didn't really center what I would say center it, but it centered it a little bit more, but kind of left it off to one side. If you would have cut off this end, it would have been clear to the left. Now, if that's the way you want to do it, you can. But you take a 1/2 inch off the bottom, a 1/2 inch off the top, or no, 1/4 inch, sorry, pardon me, 1/4 inch off the bottom, 1/4 inch off the top, and a 1/2 inch off one or the other ends, but I chose to take it off the right hand side end. Okay, and then we bring in our lemon lime, and we're going to add glue to my corners. Add this to my, if you want to check it before you put glue on the back, you can, to make certain you cut it correctly. And you should have 2 of these in your kit. So like if you like this one, you can make a second one. Okay. Now I'm just going to take this piece, add glue to my corners again. And then make certain my card's opening correctly. And then just center this on my card front. And then if you want, take this stripe and just put it along the bottom here. So this is one of the pieces that we cut off. Just add a little stripe of glue down it. Crud. Don't do what I just did. And then put it at the bottom. And then I'm going to let this glue dry that I just dropped on there, because you can see I dropped quite a bit on there. And once it's completely dry, I will come in with my glue eraser and I'll take that off there, and then nobody will know that I did that, except for all of you, and whoever watches my video. But so that is our second card. No stamping, no inks needed. You didn't need the stamp set for this. And then these little pieces, you can either throw them away or you can keep them and add them to other cards. So that is our second card. Okay, and I'm going to lay this one open so that it can dry. And I can erase that maybe at the end of the class. Okay, so now it's time for our third card. And there's a little bit of cutting to this one as well. And I don't know. I'm looking for my card base. Well, I'll have to grab one because for some reason I can't find it. Let me grab one. I must have saw the envelope and thought that was the card base, because this one now is the one with the multicolors on it. I'm going to fold that over and grab the bone folder. Crease our score line. Set this here. All right, so this is one of our card from the card kit, the Memories and More card kit, and on the back it's this design, and then on this side it is the balloon. So I'm going to set that there. We need to trim that down. And then this is another one, and it says hip hip hooray on this side. And then on this side, it's the polka dots and like bokeh, I think it's called, the different dots. And so this is how it is in your kit. And then I took this polka dot piece, and this is 4 inches long, and I believe, let me double check myself, 4 inches, and it's 3 inches wide. So these are 4 by 3, and I think the bigger pieces of the cards, the one like we just cut, are 4 by 6. And so all I need to do is to cut it down to a 4 inch by 1.5. So I can get that one, and I can get that one. So you can get 2 out of one of these card pieces. So there's that. And so I don't have to, you would just cut this in the middle, straight down the middle, and then that way leave it the 4 inch length and have it 1.5. But the one that says hip hip hooray on the back is the one. Okay. But I will tell you, there's the hip hip hooray where it's colored words with a white background. And then there's hip hip hooray with the colored background and white words. You want the one that's got the colored words on it. You want the polka dots. You can use any of them. You can pick a different one if you want, but I picked the polka dots. All right. So I did that so that it would fit this piece of the Azure Afternoon, I think it's called. And so it would layer on that. Grab my glue. And if you want the hip hip hooray to show, you could do that. But we're going to cover most of it up. So I decided to go with the polka dots. I'm just going to add that to here. Like that. And this piece of blue, it measures 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so I need that to sit there and dry a little bit. Okay, so now then, the lemon lime twist is 2 5/8 by 3 3/4. Is that right? Maybe it's supposed to. Let me double check that. Yeah, 2 5/8 by 3 3/4. Yeah. All right. Got myself confused there. And then we're going to take this happy birthday. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut at half inch. 3. I'm going to double check myself before I just tell you that. Okay, so we need it to cut it down 1/2 inch. But what we're going to do is cut 1/4 inch on this side. Turn it. And on the opposite side, we're going to cut 1/4 inch. I'm going to make certain that that'll fit side to side. Yes, it will. And then we want to cut it down 1/4, see, lengthwise. we need it to be down to 3.5. So we need to take a 1/4 inch off the bottom, I believe. I think it's a 1/4 inch on all 4 sides. I'm trying to go off memory, and memory's not well. So yeah, so we took a 1/4 inch off the right, the left, the top, and the bottom. And I think that is correct. Yes, I don't know why I questioned myself, but I did. So that is all the cutting we need for that. And so we will layer that onto the lemon lime. And see, this is where I got the idea to stamp the happy birthday on the first card on the balloon, because of this one. So these pieces do have designs on it, so you can always keep those. All right, so we'll bring this card base in, and we're going to just take this across there like that, and this is going to be a portrait open card. And then just gonna try to get it as straight as I can on there. And then I think dimensionals. Oops. Need to knock that off. I'm just going to trim some of these away. And you just want to put it on the 4 corners. And the reason for that is that this is raised up in the center, and you don't want to interfere with that, and you want your card to sit nicely. So I'm just adding these. To the corner areas. Take the backings. And then add it. I set mine off to the side, kind of like this. You can put it in the center if you wish. And then I'm going to take and tie a bow while it's still on the bolt. Kind of tighten it down just a little bit. Then we'll trim it and bring my glue dots in. Just going to kind of fold it in half and put it at the bottom right here. And I'm going to put the tip of this one here that's still on the bolt. I'll put it right there on where that's at, and my bow. So I put the tip of the twine on there first, and now I'm going to put my bow knot right over where that's at and pull this out. So they're attached together. And then trim that off. And let it twist. And then take my another glue dot. I'm going to roll it up. I just keep working it till it gets smaller. And then right here under this here tail, I'm going to put that glue dot and then take my thing there. And then that is our third card. You can add something to the inside if you want, but it's all white on the inside. You could put like another layer of DSP or something on the inside. You could stamp something on the inside, but these are quick and easy cards. So there's that one. So that's our third one. All right, so for our next card, this one's got a little bit of stamping, a little bit of die cutting, but we're also using stuff from our from the Memories and More here. And so there you'll have bits in a little clear envelope. I would not throw this out because this little clear envelope you can put a card in and mail it. So I have my card base, and it's the Bubble Bath Gradient one. I have a piece of the DSP, and it has like stars on the back and the stripes on the front, and you can use whichever piece you want. This is 1 3/4 by 5.5 is what we need, but it's 6 inches long. So we'll trim this down here shortly. And then I have the stylish stitch shapes, and this is in what color is this? Pretty peacock. So you have a stylish stitch shape and pretty peacock, and I'm not certain, but I think this might be the largest one. And then we have a piece of just the basic white in the stylish stitch shapes, the next one down. All right, so this one here, we need to cut it to 5.5 inches, and it's 6 by 6 paper. So I'm gonna take, and I think I'm gonna take this off the bottom. So let's set it in here at 5.5 inches. And just trim that little excess off. And then this is a piece of Berry Burst, and it is 4 1/4 inches wide by 5.5 long. So this is what a regular size card would be if you were to, cut it at 5.5 and score it 4 1/4. And then once you folded it, this would be the size that you have. So I'm going to show you also, when we're done with this one, how when you run out of these, you could still make this card even if you don't have the base. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and I want to add my DSP directly to this, and it should be the same length. And you could have put glue directly on, or you could have glued it directly on and then trimmed, like I did with the balloon on that first card. But I just did it with the paper trimmer because it's fairly quick to do. All right, so I'm gonna put this at the top, and this one, which I'm gonna probably end up having to trim it looks like even more. This one, I got this idea from a treat box. Somebody posted a treat box, and I took their treat box and created a card. And so So the design they use for their treat box is what I'm using for my card, and what you use for a card, you can make a treat box. So that's all I did, was add it to it, and I flipped it over and trimmed off any excess because I did cut it a little long. So I'm going to add this to the card front. And we'll try to center it so that I've got equal at the top and bottom. And then glue on my corners, my edges in the center. And just kind of adding that there like that. All right. So, I am missing something. Gotta find my stamp set. I haven't left here, so I know it's right here. Oh, here it is. So this little string I need out of here. Stamp. And then I need to grab a block for it because I did not grab that out. And this is coming loose. Okay, give me just a moment. All right, so I'm going to put that on a block. Then I did not also, there was something else I did not pull out, was it was another happy birthday, but I'll make it work. So I'm going to take my little piece here and my paper and my Memento Tuxedo Black, and I'm going to add black ink to this and just kind of over here stamp it going up, and over here I'll turn it around and have it like that so that the ends are different. And then I have this little piece for our greeting, and I'm looking to see what one I can make work because I don't have the one that I initially used. Aha! So the one that says celebration, I'm going to make certain that it's clean. And then I'm going to take tape, and the part that says I think it's time for, I'm going to cover with tape. Now when I'm using clear tape, it's going to make it a little hard to see. me grab Post-it tape. Maybe it'll be easier to do. And you think you're ready, and you're not. All right, so we're going to take Post-it tape. I'm going to put it on this darker so that maybe I can see. And so I'm going to cover that up like that. And then I'm going to ink it up where it says Celebration. Okay, then I'm going to remove the Post-it tape and throw it away immediately or you'll get ink all over you. And bring in my words, or my little thing for my sentiment, and then stamp Celebration. I know what set that's out of, but I couldn't find it on my shelf. So Celebration works. All right. And then I want to take this, put my lid on. Now, because my other one was a little bit shorter of a sentiment, it made it easier, but I'm still going to try. So I'm going to take and trim my ends just at an angle just to give it some interest. You can go whichever direction. You don't have to trim it if you don't want. And find any sentiment that will fit that piece, and if that doesn't work, then you just cut another piece of white for it. Okay, so now I want to add this to my other layering circle. And I want to center it the best that I can. On this big purplish one, balloon. And I think I did it with a different die. I did these with the two clear dies with the no center, and this one came from that one, and the littler ones came from there. So there's that. But like I said, these are more round, so you could use a circle. You could make it work if you don't have it. So add glue to this, to the back. Just kind of add this off here to the side like that. I'm going to take this lemon lime green one. I'm going to add glue to it, and we're going to attach it up here at the top of the string like that. So we're just building a scene. Okay. And then this one here, this is, I don't know, it almost looks like soft succulent, but I think it's just the gradient light color of the peacock, but I'm not positive on that. I'm going to add glue to it, and then we're going to set it off over here. Kind of like that. Then now's about the time that I'm going to put dimensionals on the back. I'll snip a little bit here. I'll go ahead and take that backing off because I put glue on the whole balloon and I should not have done that. So, warning. I'm going to add this dimensional there, and maybe the glue will help hold it. Bring in my card base and kind of just line it up like that with the strings coming down and your balloons kind of going, like sitting up like that. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to add dimensional to the back of it. And then cover the string here and kind of just overlap a couple of those balloons like that. And we're just going to take this string and my scissors and I'll put this down at the bottom of this balloon like that. I'll take this dimensional and I'll take one of these skinnier pieces down here. And I'm going to overlap that string like that so that the string is held down by the dimensional. And then I'll look and see. I'm going to add my celebration here. Oops. Don't want it to go past the edge of my card. I'm going to go over that. And then I'll trim one of these other dimensional pieces. I'll take that backing off, peel it off this, and then tuck it up underneath to hide that. And then here I'm going to tie a bow with my twine. Tighten it down. Trim my ends away. And bring in a glue dot. Roll it up like we've been doing. And at the base of this, we're going to add that balloon, or that bow. So this is our card. You can trim this off, or you can leave it hanging. You can put a glue dot under there to hold it down. So this is that card. Here's the one that I made before using the words happy birthday. And this is a set of just a lot of different words. They're in block, they're also in the scripted, things like that. But because, if, like I said, if when you run out of these card bases, here is this same card minus the base, but the base itself is a piece of the Berry Burst, and it's cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And instead of just putting it on a layer, the layer becomes the card base. And so you can make this exact card like this. So that's a couple options. And you can do that with any of them pretty much. And so that is our fourth and final card for tonight's class. So let's move some of this stuff out of the way. Get the die cuts moved. so I don't lose them. Not glue. Bring in okay, so this is card number 1. These are all card number 3. Card number 2. And then this is card number 3. So there we go. With these, you could do this whole base or these layers and add it to one of these. You could change the color of layers, so you could use it on one of the card bases. This one here, you could just cut a bubble bath card base, just like this one, and then add this to it. You'd have to cut this a little bit shorter. And with this one here, you would just cut it down a little bit more, and this, section, you could cut a little bit shorter and make it a little bit wider, and you wouldn't have to cut the sides, the top and bottom. You just have to cut the sides, and you could do them to regular cards as well as doing the card bases of the Memories and More. So I like the Memories and More kits. I like that you've got versatility, and you don't have to do that one, that base. There are let's see, you could have it, you can do it instead of it being for birthday, you could turn it on a portrait and do an inspiration. You can do it. You could do this one as the happy birthday. If you want to purchase another set of the bases, and then you could make all kinds of cards, and instead of it being that yay you, it could be the happy birthday. This one here, put it on a card and congrats, you deserve it. It is a multitude. See on the back, good times. So several of them have words on them. Today is the day, and instead of putting it on one of these whole ones, you could do something like that. And then, like I said, you have that. And then with the smaller cards, you got Oh Happy Day. You've got Way to Go. Cheers to You. Of course, they're mostly upside down right now. So Thrilled for You. And then Let's Party. And all kinds of, you got endless possibilities. Mix and match, however. But anyway, so there we go. That is the card portion of tonight's game night fun. And I hope that you enjoy making cards. And if you make them different, share them with me. Well, I want to see, because I like making cards like this, because like I said, they're quick and easy. You just trim a few things down, have a few little pieces of cardstock, and boom, you're done. So thank you for joining me. Happy stamping.